Hello, I'm Dr. Julie Abbott. I'm the module coordinator for 2 marketing modules in our postgraduate provision here at Aberystwyth Business School. Before I go on to talk about that, I just want to introduce myself to you. Yes, I'm an academic now, but my background is as a practitioner. I worked for a long time for a global blue chip and was responsible for taking products and services to market across Europe, Middle East and Africa. And I've had my own marketing consultancy for many years. I'm a senior examiner for the Chartered Institute of Marketing and also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Marketing and a chartered marketer. And I'm now an academic and I do my own research in marketing and entrepreneurship. And I've worked a long time in strategic marketing and business, and that's what I want to talk to you about today on an international level. So the 2 modules that I look after are strategic marketing, or it's named marketing management and strategy in the postgraduate level, and we have global marketing also. So why is this relevant to the whole of business? Well, many business scholars will agree that the whole purpose of a business is to create and keep a customer, and marketing is central to that. If we look at the business-to-business environment, we have key account management and CRM that marketing get very much involved in. And if we look at the business-to-consumer side of things, we have advertising, lots of, and we also have loyalty cards and delivery of good service to help keep customers that way. So the creation and keeping customers, whether B2B or B2C, marketing is central too. So when we look at marketing today, we see a lot of marketing messages out there every day. And it's easy then to think that's all that marketing does. But actually that's about 20%. Behind what we see is a whole raft of work that goes on that's very closely linked with the rest of the business. So there's the strategic and tactical side of things where we put together marketing strategies and then we manage those strategies, we operationalise them and look after them on a day-to-day basis. And we do that in environments that is local, national or international. So if we look at the marketing management and strategy module that we put on, this takes the student through the development of marketing strategies, developing a marketing plan, and also how the marketer will have to interact with the different areas within a business. So if we think of Professor Michael Porter's value chain, we see that marketing is very much part of that, but there's also production, there's also the supporting side of a business here where we look at the finance and we look at HR. And marketing has to deal and work with all these different areas within a business to ensure that what gets out to the customer is right for the customer. And then of course there's the after sales service so that whatever the customer buys continues to work and do well for that customer. Because we know that for every customer that complains about something, 19 people will leave that business and walk away. And so we have to make sure that customers are not just satisfied, but delighted. So this module works upon all these areas to give the students a full understanding of what it's like to work in a strategic and management level of marketing. But it's not just me standing up in front and talking to the students. We work very interactively. So the students actually do develop that plan. And we work together, either in groups or alone, to actually do that development, to use or learn and use all the tools and frameworks that are at our disposal as marketers to do that. And it's a really enjoyable class, all the students get together, work together very well, they help each other. So we utilise peer learning as well as what I do. And everybody has their own stories to tell about marketing and their own experiences. And this is shared within the group so that everybody learns more, including me. We never stop learning whatever we do. A lot of the work we do is on the whiteboard, so there's the old-fashioned chalk and talk where the students come up and show what they learn to each other, and they actually take parts of the classes. And so it's just a really good environment. The work, it's small class learning. We make sure of that. It's really important because then you learn more and more. We all become friends, and when there's that environment of friendship, our students open up more and they start to become more confident, and they start to learn more because of that. And everybody gets involved, regardless of whether you're from the UK, because it's easier if you speak the same language and you know the same culture, but from all our international students also get very much involved. And it's lovely to see everybody blossoming and learning about marketing, because it's such a great subject. So we've talked about different cultures. So marketing gets involved in different cultures as well. We don't just market on a national or local basis, we market internationally. And that gives the marketer some headaches, because in order to do the right thing by all of our customers, we have to understand cultures. We have to have mutual respect. We have to make sure that if we're going out to a developing country, we understand all the issues and concerns that they may have and are able to overcome them. We need to make sure that if we're selling a product out to a developing country, that there is the infrastructure there just to physically get that product to them, and that it can work within their infrastructure. So we learn all about this. We look at different cultures. We look at the concerns perhaps around colours and religion and all sorts of areas that become a culture, that make us all different. We have different cultures within a single country, not just ethnicity, but also the types of hobbies that we enjoy. So we have subcultures around those. And so we look at that on a national level, but also broaden that out to look at different ways people work and people's thoughts and feelings on an international basis also. And we make sure that our students really understand why different businesses might work and different businesses might fail due to going into new countries. So that's again a really interesting module, because it opens up quite a lot of discussion and discourse around in the classroom, because again we have a very international cohort in our postgraduate programs, so we get lots of great understanding and discussion going on around these different cultures, and everybody is equal and everybody's able and open to talk about these things. So it's a great centre for the whole of the PG courses, regardless of whether you're wanting to study international business or come on one of our MBA programs. They're all built around employability, because it's no good just learning about marketing as a subject. You have to be able to apply it. And this is why in the marketing and management and strategy module, our students have to develop a marketing plan, so they can actually go out into business and say, I can do this, I can write a marketing plan, and this is what businesses will want. On the global marketing side, we can show business employers that our students actually can understand the issues around global marketing and when to standardize a product and when actually it needs adaptation and the level of adaptation, for example. So think about Coca-Cola and McDonald's. We all think that they're the same, but they're not. The marketing might be very similar, the branding might be the same, but the actual products and services are different. McDonald's adapts its offerings to different countries, and actually so does Coca-Cola. They have different tastes dependent on where you are. So what we often think of as a global company actually has adapted products and services that go out there. An example of what we do on the marketing management and strategy, and how we implement it, and based on my background, just an example of what I've done in the past and that sort of stuff I would bring to the module. Is that many years ago when I worked for this global blue chip, I actually led a large team into bringing a product and service out into Europe, Middle East and Africa actually. I spent 2 years working with research and development in the US to help bring that product to market. And whilst I was doing that, I was actually out talking to the CEOs of large companies around Europe, Middle East and Africa to find out actually what they wanted and needed, and to try and make sure that they waited for our product to come to market. And that information was fed back to the labs to enable them to make sure that they developed the right product. Whilst it was being tested, I was writing the marketing plan and the strategy for meeting the targets. We had some very high targets there in the first year, certainly. I was also involved with the recruitment of the systems engineers and the sales teams, and the number of the people out on the floor, if you like, in each country. I was involved in training them. I set the targets for them. And I had to work to make sure that the products and services got to where they needed to be. So I led all of that, but I didn't do it alone. I had my marketing teams, of course. I had the sales teams out there in the different countries. But I also worked closely with the finance directors. I worked with our logistics people. I worked with the production people as well to make sure that the products and services were out there. I worked with the managers of the marketing and sales teams, and so on and so forth. So it just shows that marketing actually is centre of a lot of areas within business. And as I said before, we need to have an understanding of all of this if we are to be fully rounded marketers, because it's fully rounded marketers that the employers want, particularly the large companies, the large global companies that many marketers want to go into. So the likes of AstraZeneca, Procter & Gamble, Unilever, those sorts of people need marketers who understand that marketing is not just the advertising that we see out there, that there's a lot more behind it, and are able to do it, able to produce the goods at the right time, to meet the targets and deadlines and successfully meet them as well. And that's very much what we aim to do here in our postgraduate courses, and particularly from my perspective within the 2 marketing modules that I look after. So hopefully that's been of interest, and it'd be lovely to see you in Aberystwyth. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr iawn.